I remember the day my daughter, Sarah, walked into my kitchen with that look on her face, the one she used to get when she was 7 years old and had broken my favorite vase, a mixture of guilt and a desperate, trembling hope for forgiveness. Only now she was a woman of 35, and the weight in her eyes was so much heavier. She placed a simple, cream colored envelope on the counter between us, her hand lingering for a moment before she pulled it back. And she said the words that sent a cold dread straight to my soul. "Mom, don't be angry after reading this." Then she turned and left, just like that, leaving me alone with the silence and that card, which suddenly felt like the most dangerous object in my home. My heart was pounding a frantic, irregular rhythm against my ribs, a drumbeat of every mistake I'd ever made, every harsh word I'd spoken in frustration, every time I'd been too tired to listen or too busy to see the little girl still hiding behind her grown-up eyes. What could possibly be in this card that she felt the need to preempt my anger? Was it a confession of some deep failure I had inflicted upon her? Was it announcement of a life choice she knew I would disapprove of? My mind raced through a labyrinth of my own regrets, each turn leading me to a memory where I wished I had been softer, kinder, more present. I picked up the envelope. It was thick, substantial, not like a typical greeting card. My name, Mom, was written on the front in her familiar, looping handwriting. I took a deep, shaky breath, the scent of the coffee I'd been brewing now seeming sour and forgotten, and I slid my finger under the flap, breaking the seal with a quiet tear that sounded deafening in the quiet room. Inside wasn't a store-bought card with a pre-printed poem. It was several pages of her own stationery, filled with her writing from top to bottom, front and back. The first line made my breath catch. "For all the times you loved me when I was unlovable." I had to sit down, my legs simply giving way as I sank into a kitchen chair. The letter wasn't an accusation. It wasn't a list of my failings. It was a tapestry woven from moments of her life, moments I had long forgotten, but that had been etched into her memory like scripture. She wrote about the time I stayed up all night sewing a last-minute costume for her school play, my fingers bleeding from the needle pricks, and how she'd felt like a princess on that stage because of me. She recalled the sound of my voice singing off-key lullabies when she was scared of the dark, a sound she said she still hears sometimes when the world feels too loud. She remembered the specific way I would cut the crusts off her sandwiches and the feel of my hand on her forehead when she had a fever. Page after page, she was cataloging my love, not my anger. She wrote about the teenage years, the slamming doors and the shouted, "I hate yous." And she said, "You loved me through that storm, Mom, and you never once let go of my hand, even when I was trying my hardest to shake you off." She spoke of my quiet strength after her father passed, how I had become both mother and father, my own grief hidden away so she would only see a pillar of support. She ended the final page with these words, "I wrote this because I was afraid you only remembered the arguments, the stress, the times I let you down. I was afraid you saw our relationship as a series of battles. I wanted to give you a record in my own hand of what I truly see when I look back. A lifetime of your love in a million tiny, perfect, unforgettable ways. Thank you for being my mom." I sat there for a long time, the pages damp with my tears, the weight of that envelope now transformed from a burden into the most precious gift I had ever received. All her life, I had worried I wasn't enough, that my love was too flawed, too human, and here she was, handing me back my own life, reflected in her eyes, and showing me that it had been beautiful all along. If you were in my place holding that letter, what would you have felt? It made me wonder how often we, as mothers, carry the weight of our perceived failures, completely blind to the legacy of love we are actually building day by day.
If this story reminded you of your own mother or of a love that was never properly thanked, please tell me about her in the comments. I would love to hear your story.